What's going on, guys? Full Steer, and I'm back with another video. Today's video, I'll be doing an in-depth Rengar jungle guide. Rengar is one of my favorite champions to play, or like this version of Rengar, the pre-update version. I mean, however it is now with that the empowered Q or the way this Q works, instead of like that janky ass dash Q, I mained Rengar a lot. I have gathered multiple millions of skill points on this champion. I've been testing out a lot of possible builds with this, right now with this Rengar. What works, what doesn't work. I've pretty much tested everything, so I'm gonna just give you guys what I would do and how I would build Rengar. And yeah, let's get right into it. So for runes, there are really two options. I have also tested the Conqueror rune for some people wondering. This rune on Rengar, not that great because you really aren't looking for too long, longer fights. So for those of you asking that maybe the Conqueror rune would be good or not, I wouldn't really take it. It's not that worth it. Maybe on top lane Rengar it could work because then early game trades get a little bit better, I guess. You can go for trades longer, but apart from that, on jungle Rengar, don't do it. On jungle Rengar, it's either Electrocute or Dark Harvest. It varies on the enemy team really, so you have to kind of switch this out in the right before you get into game. If you're facing a bunch of tanks on the enemy team, then it's better to get Dark Harvest because this will help you more. You're not really Electrocute isn't really going to help you that much compared to Dark Harvest because this is going to be able to snowball you in fights later on a lot easier. Plus, a lot of tanks and a lot of free early game champions really is when you pick Dark Harvest, because ideally you'd want Dark Harvest. It scales better, and if you can get away with getting Dark Harvest through the early game, then you're sitting pretty. You're golden, dude. You're fine. Because this combined with your crit potential and then just straight up damage, you can burst someone with one auto attack for 2000 health. This combined with Duskblade, a crit on your Q, and then Dark Harvest Spark is going to be a 2k hit, which is pretty much insta kill on any AD carry. So that's why Dark Harvest is very, very good. And I usually take this, but if I am facing early game junglers or junglers that are hard to deal with early game, like Lee Sin, Elise, Shaco, all those early game junglers where you kind of need that extra bit of damage in the early game, the extra burst, that's when you have to go for Electrocute. And yeah, so those vary. Usually I'd go with Dark Harvest in most games because I can get away with that. Or you can get away with that against most matchups. But if the matchup is hard or you have way too much early pressure from the enemy jungler that could potentially invade you or anything, you need that extra damage. That's where you get Electrocute. So that's for those two. Now, sudden impact's pretty straight up. You're dashing a lot, so this is just yeah. Then Zombie Ward, it works very well with your Duskblade and also your sweeping lens, so you can get a lot of extra vision. So Zombie Ward's definitely the one you want to go for. And then you pick up the Relentless Hunter for that extra out of combat movement speed, which is going to help you hunt with your ultimate a lot easier. This pretty much means that you don't have to get a Ghostblade anymore, and you can just get a Duskblade and be fine like that. Ghostblade used to be the thing before because it gave you a lot of movement speed, and you kind of needed that extra movement speed boost to catch up with people or to hunt people down. But with the way it works right now, that's not necessary anymore. So the Relentless Hunter works, and then you're also, once popping your ultimate, you just get a lot of movement. There's no way they're outrunning you, so you don't have to get Ghostblade. You can get Duskblade and then Relentless Hunter here. Now, secondary tree, this is pretty much the ideal setup you want to go for because of the fact that the ultimate head lowers your ult cooldown the more you use it, and really, as Rengar, you need that ultimate, especially in mid to late game team fights. The faster you have your ult back, the more you're going to mean to your team. This ultimate head with max CDR on a late game level 16 setting, it's going to be a 35-ish second cooldown on your ultimate, which is very low. You can initiate a fight with your ultimate and just chill to the side a little bit, maybe clean some people up, and then press your ultimate at the end of the fight to then just clean it up completely. And then the Transcendence is right there to get you that 10% CDR, because with the way my build set up, and in my opinion is the best Rengar build you can set up, you kind of need that extra 10% to be a little bit more efficient and cap your CDR a lot faster. I mean, you could take blue buffs from your mid laner, but I don't think you'd be that happy about it. So Transcendence is definitely the one you want to get here. Now, that's the rune page. Let's get into the item build. Is this clean? It is clean. Good. Alright, get the machete start with the refillable potion. It's a pretty standard start. You can easily get through your jungle clear with this. Machete is 100% the one you want to go for on Rengar. You're auto-attacking so much, and you need to make sure that you also auto-attack reset with your Q to make the machete worth it, and just you can clear a jungle with this very easily. Now, the main item you want to get as fast as possible is your Tiamat. This Rengar, compared to the like janky Q Rengar, the whatever AoE Q Rengar, doesn't have that much clear potential in its jungle, so you need a little bit of assistance from an item like Tiamat to get that AoE damage, to get those jungle camps down faster. The Raptor camp and the Croc camp are very like there's a lot of monsters in them, so having that Tiamat's definitely needed. Before like the update, it wasn't that needed because the jungle wasn't that filled with monsters, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there were camps there, but they weren't like massive camps. They didn't take like 20 years to complete if you didn't have any form of AoE. So on this Rengar, you definitely need that Tiamat to make sure you get that, and this is usually the first item I go for. It's usually first clear, double longsword back into a Tiamat, and then you're good. Now, after Tiamat, you want to just get your warrior in 10 as fast as possible. In the Red Smite variant, of course. The Red Smite is just the strongest smite there is. It just allows you to jump on people and then also win like the trade in 1v1 if they're like a tankier champion, or they have a lot of one-shot potential on you back. Combine the Red Smite with potential a Phantom Dancer damage reduction, you're gonna be able to tank through a lot of stuff and like 1v1 combat a lot of people. So if you are playing against more tanky champions or just heavy burst champions, then that combination is gonna be very good, and there really nothing beats Red Smite, really. It's just so good, man. Now your boots. The CDR boots are definitely the boots you want. It gives you 10% CDR, it reduces your summoner spells, which, I mean, summoner spells doesn't really matter. It's mainly that CDR you need, because this gives you 10, this gives you 10, and then the runes will give you another 10, which is 30% CDR. And then after your Ionian boots, you pick up that Duskblade, and then usually in the order of getting this Clawfields first. You might some games be able to get away with picking up a Poacher's Dirk if you are, like, kind of dominating the enemy jungler, I guess. If he is, like, not having his game, then you might be able to get away with picking up, like, a Poacher's Dirk, like, somewhere here or something. Like, right after your Tiamat even, depending on how your game is going. You can cheese that Dirk in between and then get the Dusk... Just as long as you get the Duskblade. If you don't get that Dirk, just buy this first for the 10% CDR, so you max your CDR out, pretty much right there. And then you can have more ultimates, which is gonna make getting your passive stacks a lot easier. So, definitely something I would recommend. The more ults you have, the easier it becomes to get those passive stacks, and those passive stacks are essential. If you get them as, like, you have to get them as fast as possible. So yeah, this is like a core setup. Now, right here, there's a little bit of variance, but mostly it's a pretty linear build. It's pretty straight up, because right now, after this, you want to get a crit item, which is in the form of either a Static Shift or a Phantom Dancer. You're gonna get both of them either way, because, like, this combination with the Infinity Edge and the Essence Reaver is your 100% crits. Like, it's just that combination. There's really no other variable there. So you're gonna get them either way, but the question is, do you want a Phantom Dancer earlier? Or do you want the Static Shift earlier? Static Shift is very good into squishies, or if you're snowballing, because it's gonna give you more burst on the initial target. So you jump on them with Duskblade, Static Shift, potentially Dark Harvest, maybe Electrocute, and you're just gonna have a really easy time one-shotting squishies. Phantom Dancer, on the other hand, is an item you want to pick up when you are facing, like, tanky champions, maybe high burst, like, very high return burst, like a Kha'Zix, for example, as your opponent. Then you want to pick up that Phantom Dancer to get that damage mitigation, combined with the Red Smite damage mitigation as well, and then you're going to be easily going to be able to survive a lot more, which is very, very good for you. Now, usually, if you pick up the Phantom Dancer, though, after, like, the Duskblade, you do want to get the, in most situations, you want to get the Vamp Scepter from this as well and get the Hydra before you start working into your Infinity Edge. Because then the Hydra combined with the Phantom Dancer and all that, it's going to give you a higher chance of actually 1v1ing and surviving. Having that lifesteal is going to make a big, big difference in actually surviving. Sure, you have the damage reduction, a lot of damage reduction from Red Smite and Phantom Dancer, but if you don't have lifesteal to also get your health back, then you're still going to find yourself in a very difficult situation sometimes. So yeah, in those situations, you kind of have to get the Hydra before you get the Infinity Edge. So you do, like, the Phantom Dancer into a Hydra, into, like, an Infinity Edge, and then you can swap the items out for the rest. Now, the swapping is pretty straight up. You swap your Essence Reaver only for your jungle item, because swapping this will lose you some CDR. Whilst this pretty much makes that CDR up, it also gives more attack damage. So, yeah, and you don't really want to trade this for your boots, because you will lose movement speed off that, whilst if you trade like a Static Shift or a Phantom Dancer for your boots, you're still going to get that extra percentage movement speed, which is not really slowing you down that much, if you know what I'm saying. So that's really the order you want to do it in. So you trade either the Phantom Dancer or the Static Shift for your boots and the Essence Reaver for your jungle item. And then your full build will look a little bit like this. You're going to have that. And here... Where? Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. This is your full build. It's going to give you a 100% crit chance. It's going to give you some lifesteal and also the Duskblade effect, which is very nice to have the like the blackout effect, so you see if you get spotted or not. This combining with your like red sweeping trinket, which you want to pick up on level 9 as soon as you can, is going to just give you the flank positions in mid to late game, which is very important to get those kills. And also the Duskblade gives you a nice amount of added burst. I mean, it did get nerfed, but it still gives you a very good amount of extra burst, so yeah. That's the setup. This setup, solos Baron. It will be shown in the gameplay section as well that I solo a Baron with less items than that. You need only 5 items, really, to solo Baron. Actually, not even 5 items. You need your Hydra. You need about 70% crit chance, and you're good. Pretty much, that's what I'm saying. With an Infinity Edge. Like, your Infinity Edge is kind of essential for that, because you need the extra damage from the Infinity Edge to kind of deal enough damage to the Baron, put it that way. So yeah, Ravenous Hydra, 70% crit chance, and your Infinity Edge, and you are solid. Anyway, that's the build for Rengar. If you guys have any questions on the build, make sure to put them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer those questions for you. And yeah, let's get right into the gameplay now. Alright, so welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I'm playing Rengar. Obviously, into a Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, Rengar, the classic matchup, you know. It's always the battle of who gets the hunt stack on level 16. Whoever gets ahead gets it, really. Like, if Rengar gets the leap on Kha'Zix, then Rengar gets it other way around, same thing. So, yeah. Now, right there, I'm always pretty much standing in that spot. My mid laner didn't really cover for me that well, so they could just walk in casually, and yeah. So that's a pretty safe spot to stand, actually, because there's not really a place they're going to come from where they can catch you in time, and you can see them coming from quite a distance away, so that's a pretty good place to stand. I always like standing there. Usually, I could always also stand, like, in this spot right here to cover my jungle, by the way, or, like, if I'm starting somewhere else, I don't know. I could also stand here to just see him coming, but, like, usually this is where your mid laner stands, and I was kind of setting up my stuff, because... yeah, like, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, some shit's been going on with my computer lately, so hey. Alright, that aside, I start bot side with the Rengar just because I want to get the best leash possible, not because blue buff is all that useful or anything, but yeah. Karma does miss the hit on the blue buff there, so she doesn't steal it, which is great for me, because if you lose your first buff as a jungler, you're pretty much out of the game. Now, what I don't understand is why this Kha'Zix is doing his Krugs, but hey, you know, it's all good. Don't ever do that on, like, any jungler, really. Don't go from red buff to Krugs. That's, like, the dumbest clear you could possibly do. You need to go from, like, red buff to wolves to blue or something to make sure that you have a good clear, because Krugs takes so long and you get nothing out of it, really. Kha'Zix is already really low, as you can see, only has, like, 12 CS compared to, like, me almost having cleared 4 camps. The difference is way too big. It's not worth doing. Now, right here, I believe I saw the Kha'Zix coming up. Alright, just go back to what I did here. So, here, I'm doing my red buff. I'm a little bit low, but I have another smite, so I can heal back up. I see Kha'Zix on the ward that the Trandamir placed, which is really nice. So then I decide, alright, I'm just gonna come top. I'm just gonna use my W, heal up as much as possible. I'm like half HP. Kha'Zix is really low as well, so it's pretty good. So what I do right here is I flash on him. And with the brush, I keep spamming right-click on him, so it pretty much looks like a flash that I leapt from the specific place, and that way I get the surprise hit on the Kha'Zix, and I just pretty much one-shot him, or, like, kill him. He was half HP, he didn't really have a time to respawn. He respawned by, like, derp flashing, because he got scared or some shit, I don't even know. But yeah. You can flash into brushes like that, and then just get an instant leap out. So it pretty much looks instant, as you just saw it. Like, it looked near instant that I jumped. I just, like, jumped from here or something. But that's because you flashed into the brush, and then, like, kind of animation cancels it, I guess. I don't know how you put that. Now, first recall. I was about to say, am I really going to go for that? Exactly. First recall Tiamat, which is really good. Usually, if you get, like, a first blood kill like that, you are pretty much guaranteed to get a Tiamat on your first back, because, like, 400 gold is like really good. If you don't get the Tiamat first back, a double longsword is usually the back I run with, because just having that extra AD is really useful as well. I did mention this earlier, but just like a nice repeat, you know? Why am I watching this at 1 speed? That's gonna take ages. Alright, quickly pick that up right here. I am looking to make some play work on bot lane, because like this is like a very good territory for Kha'Zix to even gank. So I was like, he's probably going to be around bot lane, and lo and behold, there he is. So all I got to do right now is just jump on him. I'm already really far ahead, and I just jump on him and kill him. Oh, by the way, Rengar combo real quick. If you jump from a brush, let me just, right here. So you stand still. I have 0 stacks right now. This same combo counts from jumping out of your ultimate or just anything in general. Just like straight up combo if you have 0 stacks. You leap from a brush, you get 1 stack, you prep your Q, or like you can also early game auto attack reset your Q, which is a little bit better because you get a little bit more out of it. And then you press EW as fast as possible and then follow it up with another Q, your empowered Q. And by that time, you can do auto attack Q again if you have enough CDR. If you don't, then yeah. That's pretty much the combo. So you just leap from a brush, then prep your Q, that's 2 stacks. Then you EW instantly into another Q. So you pretty much just Q, EW, and then just spam Q, really. So that's like the way you could really go for the combo if you are looking for the empowered Q combo. If not, if you need like a healing from W or E, then you're going to have to press that after that combo. So you leap, prep Q, EW, and then really press whatever button you need the empowered version of. So yeah, that's pretty much Rengar combo, honestly. It isn't that difficult or impressive or anything. Alright, here we're diving bot lane with actually pretty damn good like turret trading, like damage health trading. Jesus, like turret aggro trading. Why is that so difficult to say, man? Holy shit. So yeah, I have 3 kills right now, which is really good for me. Sadly, I only have 2 of my passive stacks though, because 1 kill lasted a little too long or something. I don't even know. Actually, 1 kill might have been a repeat kill. Yeah, I got 1 repeat kill on Kha'Zix, actually, yeah. So I need to get, like... This is, by the way, something you have to really take notice of on Rengar. Make sure you gank and use your ultimate for stacks that you actually need. So even though the lane might seem like a very free kill at the time if you just pop your ultimate or something like that, you have to be very wary of having to get these bone tooth stacks as fast as possible, because 25% bonus attack damage for 5 stacks is a lot of extra attack damage. The sooner you get that, the better. Like, literally, just, it's so good. So always try to focus your ganks on lanes that you don't have the stack in yet. That's a very, very important thing to remember. You can return gank, of course, but don't try to waste too much. And if you get the chance, just gank other lanes. You only have to do it once. You need to just get the assist or just the kill on any of the lane, like anyone in the game, really. So if you gank bot lane and get like a successful double kill or something like that, then just like maybe use your next ultimate top lane or mid lane. Always something to remember though, as Rengar, it is very smart to just gank top lane early game, because most top laners are really big tanks and you're not killing them like later in the game. It's going to be very difficult for you to actually kill those people later in the game. So you definitely have to like take that into account. Consider how difficult people are to kill. So let's say you have a very squishy mid laner that's a very easy one-shot with your ultimate. Then it's better to just like kind of save that kill, if you know what I'm saying. So go for the top laner first. That would be like a fucking Volibear or something like that, because Volibear is tanky as shit. He is very difficult to kill. So yeah, right here. Also, something, if you have a Rengar in your game, please make sure to at least give him like the possible stack, because what Corki did right here, he could have easily waited like a second, maybe even donated the kill to me, and I would have gotten the stack of the Volibear right there, which would have been massive for me. So if you have Rengars in your game, please make sure to like kind of be mindful of that a little bit. Like try to look which stacks he needs, ask him which stacks he needs, and then like try to set some stuff up for him. Because if Rengar gets those stacks really fast, like those 5 stacks, he can take off in games. Like 25% bonus attack damage is a lot of extra damage, as I just said as well. So yeah. Alright, here, I believe I spot the Kha'Zix barely. Is he in range? Oh yeah, I spotted my ult for the Kha'Zix here, I believe. Yeah, I decided to go for the Karma because I needed the stack on Karma rather than on Kha'Zix. But sadly, she does have Flash and Exhaust. And, like, as soon as I use my ultimate, there's no way I can actually reach the Misfortune or the Karma. So I kind of have to just back away here a little bit, which is very sad. But, like, the Exhaust from Karma, it's pretty much saved all of them right there. Now, Kha'Zix does jump in and actually kill himself right there, so that's pretty good for me. I mean, in the end, I did die to misfortune, though, so I don't know how good that actually was for me. I didn't get a stack of the Kha'Zix, so I wouldn't really say that was a worth it trade. I should have just backed off on that in that instance, really. Now here I have my Red Smite with Tiamat and my Ionian Boots, which is going to give me a lot of cooldown reduction. As soon as I hit level 10 as well, I'm going to get that extra 10%, so I'm pretty much capped out on CDR if I would have a blue buff. If I don't, then on the next item I can get a Claw Fields and then max my CDR very early on. So like a 12 to 30 minutes max CDR. It's going to give you a lot of extra ultimates to get your stacks if you don't have them yet, or just to get some kills in general. Man, I hate Volibear, dude. Volibear right now with the Conqueror rune, oh, it's actually disgusting. Like, that dude does so much damage, whilst also being impossible to kill. Dirty. Just dirty. But that example just, like, earlier, just perfectly shows you why you need to get the kills on the tanks early. Because that Volibear, I jumped on him, I did as much damage as I possibly could, and I took, like, a quarter of his health bar. Because he is so insanely tanky. Like, until you hit, like, your late game build, you're not really doing any damage to just full tank champions, apart from, like, the early game, because you have a decent amount of base damage. So, yeah, keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind that you have to prioritize who you kill. It's a very big thing. If they become harder to kill to the later stages, if they're like a tank jungler or anything like that, try to look for invades. Maybe counter. Like, you have to get those kills early. Now, right here, I'm just making sure I keep my farm going. On 6-2 and 2, which is pretty good. I'm also out farming Kha'Zix by a, like, good amount. So that's really, really good as well. I have 100 CS, which is pretty much equal with my top laner, and also, like, kind of equal with my team, honestly. Which I'm not sure if I'm too happy about that bit, but yeah. Look at this, man. This is just actually disgusting. I don't have an Executioner's Calling, so I can't block his healing, really. Like, look how long it takes me to kill that guy. Luckily, it's still somewhat early, and he only had Ninja Stabbies and a Bramble Vest. If he had that Warden's Mill as well, that would have been painful. I probably would have died to him, to be honest. Yeah. Jhin walks a little too far up there. That's not much you can do, or I could do. Like, they walk close to the brush, but as soon as I jump in on that, I'm gonna maybe get, like, exhausted by Karma, because it's probably up again. I mean, it's up again. I can see it right now, but I didn't know it then. I've just assumed it was gonna be up very shortly. So, yeah. She's probably gonna use it on me right here. No, it's not. Like, this is, by the way, just... Please, if you're playing against Rengar, don't do that. Like, what is Azir's doing right here? Alright, so this Karma, like... I initially wanted to go for this this Azir, but Karma just kind of blocked me from that. I couldn't run fast enough to dodge that snare. But then Azir just keeps standing over the wall and just gives me a free leap and gives me a free kill, so I will take that. That, I believe, maxes out my Bone Tooth, which is going to give me 25% bonus attack damage. And I got sneak killed by Kha'Zix. Feels bad, man. There's really not much counterplay to that. If Kha'Zix walks up invisible on you like that, like, unless you probably... I might have spotted him earlier on a ward, and then I misplayed. But if Kha'Zix walks up on you like that and you're a little bit low, then really nothing you can do. You just one-shots you and you die. I just overextended for the camp, really. That's all I gotta say there. It's just a stupid death that shouldn't have happened. Now here I pick up a Duskblade. I mean, after the nerf, as I mentioned earlier, Duskblade's still pretty much the best one to go for, because you get a lot of move speed from your runes already. And yeah. It's going to give you a good amount of burst on a single target as well. Especially if you have the Dark Harvest instead of Electrocute in certain games. Then, like, Dark Harvest combination with Duskblade is going to give you insane amounts of extra burst damage. And it's going to be much easier to kill people. Or, like, kill squishies with just one combo rotation. And, again, the combo rotation is, like, ult. And then leave prep Q, EWQ. And then maybe, like, finish, like, end a Tiamat after that or something. It's pretty much a one-shot rotation that should always net you to kill as soon as you're a little bit ahead. Especially into squishies. Into tanks, maybe not, but yeah, you should be okay. Wait, why am I not following myself? Like, what is this shit? I'm just, like, looking for, like, a random dude to kill at this point. I need to get a leap from a brush in order to make this work. Alright, that's pretty much just the lead on the Azir there. I did, like, a good chunk of damage with one auto attack. As you saw, like, you heard my Duskblade proc, and, like, as soon as that happened, he just lost half his HP bar from just one of my auto attacks. So that's pretty dirty. Now, I believe this is where I just into the Volibear. I'm like, This, by the way, this game is played the first day the Conqueror rune came out, so I had no idea. Like, I mean, I had an idea that Volibear would be strong, of course, because he's tanky as shit, but I had no idea this Conqueror rune made him this, like, stupid. So I've died a couple of silly times this game to just, like, disrespecting it a little bit. Right here, I should have just backed away, but, like, right there, he just, like, burst me from half HP, which is, like, it's just disrespecting Volibear, really. That's just silly mistakes that shouldn't happen. So, yeah. Be respectful of the full tank Volibear. He fucks you up. Especially as Rengar, honestly. Like, he has so many mechanics. He's kind of like a Janna now with his, like, fear mechanic. He just slightly knocks you away, which pretty much denies you from jumping on him and getting a little bit of a decent burst rotation going, or just anyone in his team, rather, if he stands on them, which is even more annoying. I believe I died, like, 3 times to this Volibear alone this game. That's the only thing I died to, right? Like, look at this, man. Like, this is just disgusting. The Conqueror rune, I mean, makes this actually disgusting. No, I got denied there by Volibear's fear. I got knocked back a little bit. Like, if he gets the bite on me, I'm just dead there, dude. I have to flash into the brush. It's so disgusting. That champion right now, oh. Boy, oh boy. Alright, right now, as you can see, I'm building into my crit. This game, I'd probably go for a Phantom Dancer, actually. I'm not sure what I went with, actually, like, to be honest. I just waiting for someone casually in the brush. Like, this is what I mean, by the way. When you, when you 1v1 the Kha'Zix, you're pretty much burst champions, the both of you. So, whoever gets the most damage out the fastest wins this. So, look at this, like, right here. I get a little bit of the jump on him here. When, like... Look, auto attack you. I lose half my health bar. Luckily, I have my W to, like, heal me for, like, 800 because I got bursted so fast. So I lose a lot of health that way. And my W heals me for more. So, I mean, in that situation, I just trade the, I just take the fact that I got Kha'Zix's Guardian Angel. It's a very good trade to make. I'm not sure why he has Guardian Angel, to be honest. Because I would have definitely gone with a Ghostblade for a little bit more damage. But, yeah. It is all good. And this raid boss, dude, he can literally just walk on us and there's nothing we can do. Actually disgusting. I mean, at this point in the game on Rengar, you literally just kind of look for picks. You have to, or like, wait for your team to engage. This is really where things start, like, kind of to trickle down. We do, like... Because a lot of people reacted to the Tryndamere on bot lane, especially the Kha'Zix, we can easily force a Baron out of that because there's no way they can get it. Also, we know that Volibear recently backed, so he's not really a problem to deal with right there. So the enemy just really gave up Baron. As a jungler, just remember to never really go bot lane like that as soon as Baron is actually a threat and the enemy team can take it. Because if you go bot lane as a jungler and, like, the Baron is an option, you can instantly lose the game with that. Like, you literally just give a free Baron to the enemy team. And if they play with that, if they play with it well... then you've just lost the game straight up by just going bot lane for one play. And then some junglers wonder, like, what went wrong, man? What went wrong? I don't know what happened. And then they just, like, gave a free Baron by just roaming to bot lane. Like, if there's a split pusher in your game, just let your top laner deal with it, unless the Baron's down and you can actually respond to it by, like, an easy gank. But otherwise, it's just not worth, like, going there and risking the Baron steal. It's a very, very good thing to remember. Now... I went this game with a static shift, which I find kind of surprising, because I definitely need to survive a little bit more damage, especially if I'm trying to 1v1 the Volibear. So I should have for sure went with a Phantom Dancer this game. Yeah, not much else to say. Into like tanky teams, or like teams that have a really good chance of actually one-shotting you, like the Kha'Zix, for example, having that Phantom Dancer for the damage reduction is big. Because, like, it helps you against tanks to make sure they deal less damage to you, especially with the Conqueror rune right now. It does make a good difference in the amount of damage that you can actually, like, take. So, yeah. I don't know. And there I got denied by the Exhaust into, like, I believe a Volibear Fear as well. I mean, Exhaust just wrecks you, man. If you're an Assassin, if you're a Rengar, Exhaust is disgusting. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I believe I jump in. I get instantly hit by that Volibear thing, so I lose my I lose the leap chance for damage. I get denied from killing Lazir pretty much, and then I also get exhausted. If I didn't get exhausted, I could have finished the Azir off, but because I got exhausted, I just have to make sure I get out as fast as possible. There's really not much else for me to do. Now, they do overextend a little bit, or the Misfortune does at least. So, yeah. And then I jump in, Volibear gets over and, like, pulls me to his side. Kind of kills me that way. Man, I believe that's, like, the 4th death of just disrespecting Volibear. I don't even know, man. Fuck. At least we're still in a good position. Like, the main thing here, like you can see right now, if you look at the stats, is I kept my farm up as much as possible, and I make sure that I kind of efficiently clear my camps. Because this is gonna, even though I make some silly mistakes here and there, by this, like, disrespecting Volibear, I guess, or, like, not knowing the damage Conqueror really does right now, in this specific game, I just, like, yeah. I do pick up an Infinity Edge here. As soon as you get that Infinity Edge, your power spike is just, like, there, like, for the late game stages. I'm, like, 5 items right now. Yeah, kind of 5.5-ish items, I suppose. As soon as I get that Ravenous Hydra, like, we're good. Like, at that point, you can really start soloing, like, Barons and stuff like that, which is really nice, especially for solo queue. Being able to solo Baron is... I'm 99% sure that this game has a solo Baron in it. That's the reason I also picked this game. So if it's not, then awkward. Very awkward. I do that to Kha'Zix there, actually. That's like the situation that I mentioned earlier. Kha'Zix gets a sneak on me, I die. I get the sneak on Kha'Zix, he dies. It's just that simple. So, in other words, try to position yourself so he can't get the sneak on you like that. I'm up in 10 seconds, which is not too bad. I pick up my Ravenous Hydra there. Wait, what did I sell? I sold my jungle item for that. I sold my jungle item for the Hydra, and then I also picked up the crit cloak, because that is going to allow me to get 70% crit chance. And then the Hydra will provide me with more damage than the jungle item would, plus more lifesteal. So the lifesteal is very, very beneficial. Lifesteal is pretty much essential on Rengar if you want to try to, like, jump into the enemy team, like 1v3 or anything like that. Because if you don't have lifesteal, 1 health bar is not going to be enough. You definitely need to have that extra health regen. And as you can see right here, this is the solo Baron. All you need really is the 5 items that I have in the Ravenous Hydra, Infinity Edge. You don't even need Duskblade really. You just need to have the Infinity Edge with, like, a good 70% crit chance, and then a Ravenous Hydra, and you can solo Baron. Which is very, like, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's very good for solo queue. Like, just that alone, being able to solo a Baron like that, is gonna win you so many games in solo queue by just, like, cheesing the Baron away from the enemy team. Even if they're ahead, or even if your team is, like, inting, and they're just seizing your team. If you can sneak in with your Duskblade and your Sweeping Lance, and make sure there are no wards on the Baron, and just quickly do the Baron in, like, 15-ish seconds. It's very hard for, like, the enemy team is not gonna expect that. No one, at whatever elo, is really gonna expect a solo Baron like that in, like, 15 seconds-ish. 15 to 20 seconds, and you're just good, man. You can take that Baron, put your team back into a decent position in the game, and then, yeah, that works. Kha'Zix spotted me. Man, that bear is scary. Okay, well. I'm just kind of standing off to the side. Right now, this is the stage in the game where, as Rengar, you kind of have to, like, stand a bit back and look for a pick like that, for example. Just one-shot the AD carry clean, and then, or maybe the mid laner, whoever is out of position. Just wait for that situation, and then kind of wait for your team to, like, clean the rest up. You can pretty much instantly put it into, like, a 3v5 or 4v5. You're always going to one-shot somebody if you jump on them, unless you jump on, like, a tank, like an idiot. You're always going to one-shot, like, the AD carry or the mid laner, maybe the support, whoever you go for, really. The one-shot's pretty much guaranteed. But sometimes you can get even, like, 1 or 2 more people, because you just crit and crit and crit and crit over and over again, especially later in the game. If you keep critting, then, it's pretty disgusting. You deal so much damage. You can get, like, 4,000, like, DP... No, actually not 4,000 DPS. That's a bit much. Like, you can get, like, 2,500 DPS easily on this, with a full build on Rengar. I didn't manage it this game, but, yeah. The Crit Cloak would go into the Essence Reaver. You pretty much buy Essence Reaver, as I mentioned earlier, for the CDR. So you kind of trade your Essence Reaver late game for, like, your jungle items to still have max CDR. So you have 35-second ult cooldowns. So, yeah. With the 35-second ult cooldown, you're most likely to be able to engage a fight with an ult and one-shot somebody that way. And then also, like, finish the fight off or clean the fight later with an ultimate to play your game that way. So that's pretty much how you play Rengar. You kind of stay to the side. You make sure you keep your farm up, get the assassinations going. Also prioritize your getting your stacks. So if you have someone that's really going to be really tanky in the mid to late game, focus that guy first. Get that stack out of the way. Make sure you get those gank specifically to get your passive stacks going. That's the way you want to gank. Not really looking at lane positioning and all that. Sure, it plays a role, but you have to use your ultimates effectively to get those stacks, and then that way you can get ahead very easily and just most likely win your game, especially with solo Baron potential. Jesus. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please make sure to hit the like button as well and subscribe for more. Also hit that bell notification thingy to see when I upload some videos. And yeah, if you guys want to see any guides as well, put them in the comments below. I still have some lined up. I've already been practicing them for a little bit, so there are still a few coming. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye!